This edition of the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs? The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bringing your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. It's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and is even loved by Hollywood celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Order Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, now available at Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and even endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is a key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at a wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance makes you laugh and cry at the same time? Whatever gift for Grandma's recipes or just because, those smiles and tears will just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw, Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bring your memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. Also, check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms and the Mike Wagner Show, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartradio. Also, iTunes, Google Play, Apple, Amazon Music, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And check out the Mike Wagner Show merchandise at themikewagnershow.com. And also on Amazon.com at the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, makes great gifts for your loved ones 24/7, 365. And for you ladies out there, you can shop with pride in the Mike Wagner Show as well, too. And you can stock up on your groceries and all kinds of goodies as well. And don't forget, also to donate to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also on Anchor FM/support and PayPal at the Mike Wagner Show or Mike Wagner Voiceover. Make sure you give generously today. We're here with a terrific gentleman who is and award-winning director. He's Emmy nominated and Emmy award winning. He's done Life Without Basketball and also Not a War Story. And he's also worked with some great people in his latest project, like with John Mercer and also producer Nick Palmiciano. And this is about a story that follows fellow Marines Noah Cass and Eddie Ryan sustaining injuries while in Iraq and reveals the many struggles that they face today, especially the veterans, and fighting for a change in the veteran cause as well, too. So his work has been featured on ESPN, NBC, PBS, and more. And of course, this guy's tougher than a tank. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios outside Boston, Massachusetts, the very multi-talented, Emmy award-winning and nominated director of Pixelapictura Films, or Pictura Films, we should say. Here he is, the multi-talented Tim O'Donnell. Tim, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much. I'm super pumped to be here. And our company name, we just tried to make it the most difficult to pronounce. So no worries. It's a good name to get confused on. But now we're pumped and super excited to talk to you about Tougher Than a Tank.
Oh, that's amazing too. And we like to talk about your amazing career. And you're award-winning, Emmy-nominated, Emmy award-winning director of Life Without Basketball and Not a War Story. And you worked with some great people in the movie Tougher Than a Tank with John Mercer and also executive producer, war winner Casey Affleck. I forgot to mention that. Shame on me. And producer Nick Palmiciano is a war veteran. And it's about a story that follows fellow Marines Noah Cass and Eddie Ryan sustaining injuries while in Iraq. And they faced many challenges. And your work has been featured on ESPN, NBC, PBS, and more. And before we talk about Tougher Than a Tank, tell us, Tim, how you first got started.
I first got started with my dad. My dad, had a camcorder. And we were a wrestling family. I'm one of four. Me and my older brother wrestled. And, it was one of those things where you get to the gym and, you want to film your matches and then review later. And so really just kind of happened there where my dad was kind of sick of filming my brother wrestling. And he's like, hey, you should learn how to use this. And, both my mom and my dad kind of showing me. And, it started there. And I didn't go to school for video. I was an artist and, I really loved working with kids too. So naturally I became an art teacher at the high school level for 6 years. And, it was really during my graduate school program where I was supposed to study painting that within a semester in, I sort of had this moment with a lot of different chance encounters where it was revealed to me that it was a filmmaker. I just didn't know it. And from there, I switched my major at the graduate school level and, sort of went on this journey. And I've been on this journey for over 10 years now. I left teaching, not because I didn't love it, but because, I knew I needed to do something that was just innate in me. And that was to make videos. And so, I'm lucky that I get to make videos full time. And, my partner in crime, John Mercer, co-founder of Pixela, co-director of Tougher Than a Tank. We have a really wonderful relationship that we can take on a lot of independent documentaries and still create commercial work for, profit, nonprofit, collegiate, all over the place. So we have a good range of clients, but we managed to make a lot of independent films throughout the year. And really, we're just excited to get this film out. It's 4 years in the making, Tougher Than a Tank. Really interesting feature-length documentary you can find on Amazon right now, iTunes. And we're hoping a lot of folks get to it. People that might have a veteran background or know a veteran, or maybe don't. Maybe really have minimal connection. And that's kind of the interesting part. The story, I think, can pull you in and shed some light on the veteran community, the veteran experience. And, that's kind of the wonderful thing about documentaries. A lot of people come to different films for different reasons. And hopefully you kind of walk out with knowing somebody you don't, another community, another population. It's been a real journey.
It sounds like an amazing journey. And what was it one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your life?
Wow. Great question. I think it's funny. So I'm a dad now. Dolly, my daughter, is 4. Felix is 1 3/4. And, me and my wife, Allison, we're having a great time raising kids. And I think, when you get to that point and being a dad and you get a couple years under your belt, you start to reflect. And I think a lot of the stuff that I'm doing now goes back to my parents. So my parents are very encouraging. And it's funny because wrestling is kind of this tough sport, right? It's like, we've all seen, parents screaming in the stands, and it's a very passionate sport. If you're at the high school level, it's only 6 minutes. You're just on the mat for 6 minutes. People train all year. They put in crazy hours. You're cutting weight. And the thing that always kind of goes back is that they were just there. They were encouraging. They were excited, but they were never telling us what to do. They were never, they were just encouraging. And I think that encouragement allowed me to get into a field that's just, I feel like I won the lottery, because it's like, being a filmmaker sounds cool and it is, but like, it's a challenging field. A lot of folks, the common documentary filmmaker has another job, and, we're very lucky. And I think it all goes back to that encouragement and allowing somebody like myself to like really dig in and work hard and find the right things. And so I don't know, there's not one particular defining moment, just that I always think back to being a kid and being encouraged and, not being told what to do, not being like screamed at, and just being like, hey, we keep going. We have a family motto called no quit.
I love it.
Yeah. My dad had this injury, and, it was one of my first films. I made a short film, and that's what ended up on ESPN, roughly like 10 years ago. And, that was the family motto for him to keep going. It was kind of reversed, where we were encouraging him, and he's doing great now and still alive and kicking. And so, yeah, I don't know, man, like, I think there's a lot of moments that lead us to these things. And, it's always challenging to put my finger on one thing, but that's the biggest thing, is the encouragement. And then now I have the challenge to try to do that with my kids. And, I've got the best mentors in my parents, my wife's parents, and now I'm trying to do that, and it's fun, it's fun to kind of have that new challenge.
It sounds like a lot of fun. And of course, your dad being featured on ESPN, I'm sure he loves ESPN forever and ever, no matter what's on. So
totally. No. Yeah. It was really cool. And he's like a big golfer, and, Tom Rinaldi at the time was part of ESPN. Now he's moved on to another network, but, he came and hung out with us and interviewed all of us. And, it was really, it was a really challenging time. My dad had a traumatic brain injury, was in a coma for 8 days, and then slowly came back to life. And, I ended up documenting a lot of that. And then, it was a lot of hard moments, but, to get a couple of years out of his injury and then have ESPN show up and, add to the story. It was a great thing. And now he's an advocate. Now he's an advocate for brain injury folks, the brain injury community. And that kind of ties back into Tougher Than a Tank, because, Tougher Than a Tank, Noah Cass is a Marine. And, he was looking to reconnect with a wounded vet, Eddie Ryan, who he served with, who hadn't seen in 12 years. And Eddie sustained a very challenging traumatic brain injury. So it's, part of everything we do, we're kind of bringing our own experiences. And I think, my experience with my dad in some ways prepared me and also prepared everyone, because our whole team worked on my dad's film. And, we're all sort of prepared to try to help to tell that story.
And how'd you guys all connect together when it came to Tougher Than a Tank? How you first got started, with your dad and also with Noah and also Eddie. How'd you guys how did they all connect, and how did the Tougher Than a Tank first got started? With the
sure, yeah. Thing? Right. I know it's always such a funny thing too to think back of, like, how did we get here? And again, it's a 4-year process. We've been making this film for 4 years, but it goes back quite a bit. My dad's experience was all my family, my personal sort of experience that I had 10 years ago. And I've been filming with my dad for a while. And then, a bunch of years ago, common kind of circle friend of a friend, I met, Noah Cass. And Noah Cass is a Marine. And he was experiencing some, problems transitioning back home after service, which, is a commonly known thing. And there's a lot of avenues to sort of help cope or help find new purpose. And, for Noah, it was running. And he wasn't this big runner before, it was one of these things he's really, really kind of sank his teeth into after service. So I actually made a film with Noah before Tougher Than a Tank, which in the documentary field isn't as common. It's we're not considering it a part 2 or anything like that. We made
exactly.
Me and John Mercer made a short documentary called The Last Time I Heard True Silence. And that's a little snapshot into Noah's experience transitioning home. And we followed him for his first ultra, which was 50 mile run.
Wow.
And, it was great. And so Noah was one of these guys, and that was made in 2014. Noah was one of these guys who always has a mission. Okay, I did this. What's next? So a couple of years go by, and Noah calls me and John out of the blue and says, hey, not asking for it to be filmed, but just we keep in touch. We're friends now. Hey, I think I'm going to run 145 miles in 3 days to reconnect with a wounded vet I haven't seen in 12 years. And me and John are together, and we're just like, the phone just is silent, and we're looking at each other like, of course we're going to film it. We can't not film that. So, so of course we get in the van, and we have this journey with Noah, and then we get to meet Eddie and his family. And when you say, well, where did I begin? How, all these folks that are part of it. And, for us, every filmmaker, every production company has a different approach. And some folks say, hey, I'm going to make a feature length documentary. I'm going to make a Netflix series, or I'm going to make this short, whatever it may be. For us, the story kind of drives that. So going into it, it wasn't like, hey, we're going to work on this for 4 years and we're going to make a 82-minute film. No. It was a moment that we needed to capture. And as the days started going, and, and we kept filming. There's a lot more footage than just the actual run. There's, the lead up, the after, there's a lot of other elements. But as we got more and more into the story, it felt like this is a bigger story. This is a story that actually has a lot of complexities and needs a lot of time. And so, then we reached out to Nick Palmisano, another collaborator that we've worked with. What's neat is so me and John are actually civilians, and Nick Palmisano is a veteran who has made films in the past. We've collaborated with him. He owns his own agency, and he does a lot of work in the veteran space. And he knew this was a bigger story too. So then he had been working with Casey Affleck a lot, and Casey's been sort of quietly helping the veteran community in various ways. And so it was the perfect kind of like situation where we're working on this film. And I think Casey was excited to, he's been a part of other documentaries. So I think he was kind of excited to do something in the veteran space. This particular story struck a chord with him. And then he became involved, and he became the executive producer and sort of helped get the story out. And so, it's been, it's one of those things. Again, it started a very long time ago with our relationship with a lot of different veterans, and, kind of worked into this moment of this film, which has a lot of different levels of community in it. So yeah, and it's one of those things that the film has changed over the years, but we're really excited. It just came out recently, and now it's available globally, and excited for people to watch it.
And we'll certainly check that out. We'll talk more about Tougher Than a Tank in just a minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. It's fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and enjoyed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books. Remembering is a key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at a wedding, and even more so yours. Who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift for remembrance? Makes you laugh and cry at the same time. Whatever gift for Grandma's recipes or just because those smiles and tears will just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw, Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotoBooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books. Bring your memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. Also, check out The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com at over 30 podcast platforms. Take us with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter today at The Mike Wagner Show. And for great gift ideas and merchandise, go to Amazon.com. Check out The Mike Wagner Show podcast or themikewagnershow.com. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mia Molson-Zia store for great books like Missing, Once, and Wrinkles, and cool merchandise like t-shirts, tank tops, pop sockets, hoodies, and a lot more. Check it out today, and don't forget to donate to The Mike Wagner Show. Support us at themikewagnershow.com. Also on Anchor FM/support and PayPal. Make sure you do so today. We're here with the owner of Pixelapictura Films, director Tim O'Donnell here on The Mike Wagner Show, Emmy-nominated and award-winning director. He also did A Life Without Basketball and Not a War Story. And before we continue, Tougher with a Tank, tell us about the 2 films you were in, Life Without Basketball and Not a War Story.
Yeah, what's wonderful about what we get to do is we get to jump into a lot of different communities. I'm a civilian, but I've been lucky to kind of work with the veteran community. Was introduced to the veteran community by Nick Palmisano, met him 10, 11 years ago. And, we connected and he kind of let me in, vouched for me. And then, I was led into that space. So Not a War Story is another veteran film. And Nick is actually one of the main subjects. Nick had this burning desire to make a veteran-written, veteran-produced Hollywood film, which is a big goal. It's it's one of these things people talk about, but even if you're in Hollywood, even if you're getting funding, just to start, finish, make a Hollywood film, the challenges are through the roof. So he pulled together kind of the who's who of the veteran community. All sorts of folks, Medal of Honor recipients, UFC fighters,
Wow.
All over, folks like Marcus Luttrell. Marcus has an incredible story and, has a big name and, immediately wanted to be a part of the film. And so all the way from Leroy Petrie, Medal of Honor recipient, folks like Tim Kennedy, MMA superstar and Green Beret. And, all of a sudden, all these folks are coming together and they go on social and put an Indiegogo campaign asking for, I think it was $100,000, which is a lot of money, right? And they broke records.
Oh my gosh.
They raised that in hours. They raised $1.4 million. And they went out and they did what they said they were going to do. They made a Hollywood film. And so my film, Not a War Story, follows the process of making a Hollywood film. It's sort of a behind the scenes in some ways. And so you go on this journey with all these veterans. And of course, I think part of the reason is, you want to make a Hollywood film because it's, one of those things that a lot of kids dream of. But the other purpose is, a lot of veteran stories are kind of extreme, right? They're the war hero can do no wrong, or, the alcoholic, loose cannon, PTSD survivor, and so you've got these extremes, and sure, they exist to some point, but most folks are in the middle. Most folks don't have any commonalities with those Hollywood stories. So they wanted to do that, but they also wanted to have fun. There's a great kind of sense of dark humor. So they made a zombie apocalypse film. And my film follows that whole process. And, they had like William Shatner, was in it, and Sean Astin, folks in the Hollywood community that did cameos and paid homage to working with veterans. And so, that was a fun film to make. That's available for free on Amazon Prime and a bunch of other platforms that I forget about because there's so many.
There's so many. It's okay not to keep track. And sometimes with my podcast, I'm having a hard time on what's on there. So don't feel bad.
And so, you have the story of us working with veterans and what's neat is we work with all communities. We've worked with the autism community for a bunch of films, refugee community, brain injured, there's all these different groups, but Life Without Basketball focuses on the first Muslim American basketball player, and she couldn't play professionally because she covered. She was the first player to cover with hijab at the college level, and she was this amazing player, played for Indiana State, record breaking. She broke Rebecca Lobo's scoring title in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, she's like her name's Bilquis Abdul-Qadir. She's just this amazing person. And so we followed her for 5 years during this time of when she left college to go play pro. She can't play pro. There's this weird rule that nobody really knows about. And she fought it. And, by the end of the film, she helps change that rule and, goes on to play a little bit of pro ball. And so that one's also available on Amazon Prime. That's on Hulu. Again, a bunch of other platforms. But it was great. And Bilquis is this amazing advocate for the Muslim community, but also for youth women's sports. He's really done amazing things as a young human, just inspiring. And so it's cool when you get to make a film and then allow folks to hopefully use that film and continue that advocacy work. And so Bilquis has continued to do that. And then Noah, Cass, and Eddie's family have continued to do that with Tougher Than a Tank. It's just one little extra thing for them to connect and especially invite folks that may have not had as much experience with either the Muslim American community or the veteran community. So there's these little avenues, these little snapshots you can get into, this little door that opens, hopefully, and you get some insight getting to know these different communities.
You talked about the Muslim American community, also the veteran community as well, too. And what are some of the other, communities are you looking to target and also make films on? This is just very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're interested in getting to an opportunity to tell a story or shed light on folks who commonly misrepresented, folks that don't have as much of a bigger voice as prominent communities. One thing that's kind of neat lately, I just got back from Vermont and we're working on a new film. We've got a couple films coming out, but this one is, it's an unlikely story in some ways, but I think it's kind of important. It's kind of interesting, it's kind of the everyday athlete, and so there's this endurance ride. It's called bike packing. It's new. I've never done it. I'm not really a big cyclist either, but it's basically camping and biking together.
Camping and biking together.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, people are training for this thing, but they're like, it's not their job, right? It's like they're full-time something else. And then they go and do this very extreme thing. They get time off from work. They go up to Vermont and it's 640 miles, Some people take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. Some people do it takes over 10 days. It's one of these things you're going all over. It's not like you're not riding a bike on the street. Like you're in the woods, you're in gravel roads, you're in rocky areas. People have to stop and walk their bike, and then you're camping on your own. You cannot have folks meet you out and resupply you. It's really interesting. There's 40 people who signed up, so it's not this huge Ironman thing that's competitive, and it is competitive, but it's a different. It just gets back to like why people are trying to go after things. It's like really stripped down, and it's community based. And I like this new view on these endurance events that are not bragging rights in some ways. It's experience, So anyways, you just get to meet a lot of different folks from all over, doing it for different reasons.
And it sounds amazing as well, too. And getting back to Tougher Than a Tank and, talking about the veteran community and everything else. And, not only they're dealing with injuries, PTSD and everything else, they also, struggle like with, finances and stability and, welfare and everything else. And it's just not all about PTSD, but they face like things like, trying to find basic housing, food, shelter, and everything. It's like, it's just a huge challenge.
Yeah. It's one of these things too. Like, so Eddie Ryan was severely wounded. It was friendly fire, and he got shot in the head. Definitely not expected to live. Once he did surpass that, he flatlined a bunch. Once, it was months too. It's not like, a couple days in a coma. It was a long road. Then it was like, he's going to be in a vegetative state. And then of course, when you get to know Eddie in this film, you go, oh, that's why, because he's amazing. So of course he blows that through the water, and, he's got a lot of challenges, but, it's still Eddie. His verbal ability is limited in some ways, but he is sharp. He's got a great sense of humor, and he's in a wheelchair. And so Eddie was featured on an HBO documentary years ago.
Wow.
And you go in the film, you'll get to see, you go into his house. There's letters lining his whole house. People from all over, thousands and thousands of letters. This is a guy who's been featured, right? This isn't somebody who's, in a lot of ways, a lot of folks get forgotten. This is a guy who the story is featured. Still to this day, he struggles with getting the proper support from the VA. And I don't want to bash the VA at all, but it's just like, here's a guy who's sort of highlighted in some ways, and yet they're cutting his therapies back within the first month, the first, 10 minutes or so of the film. You hear that, his therapies are getting cut back to once a month, as opposed to, what he should be getting, which is, multi-therapies a day. And he does really well. You see all his progress. Even like years later, years after his injury, he's still making progress, still moving different parts of his body, still making advancements. And, that's just the tip of the iceberg, for veterans. If that's happening to that guy, how many other folks, who have injuries or dealing with whatever? Mm-hmm. They're in it too, man. So, this film kind of sheds light a little bit on that.
And also calls for a change in veteran care as well, too. So that's going to take a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. We've gotten to know the community through the years working on different films. And, it's not a simple solution, but there's also just a big lack of that support. And, you see a lot of folks, you see a lot of civilians, you see a lot of veterans stepping up and creating nonprofits or, creating programs for folks, struggling. And, it's pretty amazing. The community rallies. But then again, it just kind of bugs you that somebody like Eddie, who has very specific needs, isn't getting them at all. And you have the caregiver side. You get to know Eddie's parents. And you see what that life's like, because that's a full-time job for these guys to help give Eddie the best care and the best life possible. And so you get into that world a little bit with this film.
And lastly, how can we help?
Yeah, you can. There's a website, helpeddieryan.com, and you can donate directly to the family because it's out of pocket for them. As you watch the film, you'll learn that they're paying for majority of his therapies. But I think the biggest thing is awareness, and what can I do in my small world? And so there's lots of folks who write their congressman or go to rallies or advocate this way. And that's all wonderful. I kind of keep going back to just finding little small things I can do every day. Mm-hmm. Whether it's community, making sure I go out of my way to talk to a veteran, or, just not being as, just knowing that people have other things going on, and just help putting yourself back to that. Cause, we easily can, fast-paced world, we can easily judge and get whatever. And I think just that watching a film where you get outside of your world, you see a different population. That's it. It's a huge thing. But I think anytime you can advocate for veteran healthcare, I think it goes back to that quite a bit.
And where can we find Tougher Than a Tank at?
Yeah, so Tougher Than a Tank is now out. We're excited to have it newly released, and you can go on Amazon, iTunes, Vudu, all sorts of different platforms. Local cable, video on demand. You can search for it and get it. And give it a watch. Share it, on social. Share it with friends and family, and enjoy it. It's a great film. There's a lot of aspects to it, and you get to watch somebody run 145 miles in 3 days.
Run, Forrest, run!
Yeah, epic run through mountains too, 7,000 feet of elevation change. It's a cool story, man. It's really cool.
It sounds really cool. What's coming up for Pixelapictura Films owner Tim O'Donnell, the award-winning Emmy director? We'll find out just 1 minute. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Also brought to you by Picture This Photo Books. Remembering is a key ingredient. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809. We'll be back with the Emmy award-winning and nominated director Tim O'Donnell of Tougher Than a Tank after this timeout. This edition of The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs? The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bringing your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. It talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by SonicWeb Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. SonicWeb Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey, this is Ray Powers. And if there's one thing you can count on in these unpredictable times, it's that you're in good hands getting some great radio, courtesy of The Mike Wagner Show.
That's okay, I'm not looking to rain.
We're back with award-winning Tim O'Donnell of Tougher Than a Tank here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just a great story. You've been very inspiring, Tim, and really love having you talk about Tougher Than a Tank and all your works as well, too, and the people you come across. And, just a few more things. What else can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond, Tim?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. You can go to pixelapictura.com to stay updated and check out. We've got a ton of films on there. Email me. I'll send you some films for free. We've got new films coming out. I mentioned a project we're working on in Vermont. That's kind of early stages, focusing on the Vermont Super 8 bikepacking 640-mile race. We do not have a title for that yet. That'll be coming out next year. In the meantime, we've been working on a film about veteran Mary Daig. She is a double arm amputee, elbow up, so she does not have any prosthetics, and she's a video gamer.
Wow.
She plays games with her feet and adaptive devices, and she is a hilarious, wonderful human that I'm lucky to call a friend. And we've been working with her for 3 or 4 years now, and that film will be coming out next year as well. In the meantime, we've got a lot of fun commercial work, and we're excited, really, really excited to be sharing Tougher Than a Tank with a massive audience. And we appreciate you listening, and appreciate you watching the film too.
And we certainly appreciate it as well, too. And we look forward to what you got, Tim. And who do you consider your biggest influence in your career?
Oh, man, my biggest influence. I'd have to say my biggest influence, I talked about my parents earlier, so they're up there. I think looking at the work of David Lynch has been very influential, even though my work doesn't necessarily look like his work. I think being an artist and allowing freedom and telling a range of stories and never having too much ego or doing things to balance that, I admire. So, my parents, huge influences, my siblings, TJ, Aaron, and Angela. But yeah, if I had to pick an artist, it'd be David Lynch, who makes amazing, weird, crazy films. So
very amazing. One of my favorites. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
If it's filmmakers, just keep making crappy films. You gotta make a bunch of crappy films.
I'll make a good film right now on this phone here. We'll do that.
Get your hours in, get your hours in. Whatever it is you're doing, like, be easy on yourself. That's my biggest advice. Just do it. Just finish it. And you're going to make a bunch of crappy ones. So, just get your hours in.
We certainly will do so. I have to keep track on that. Once again, the award-winning Emmy nominated and award-winning director Tim O'Donnell here on the Mike Wagner Show at Tougher Than a Tank. Tim, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep this up to date. Don't forget to keep in touch. Looking forward to have you on in 2021 and beyond. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact you, where can people purchase or check out your works, especially Tougher Than a Tank.
Yeah, check out pixelapictura.com and go over to Amazon, buy Tougher Than a Tank, or go into iTunes and enjoy it. And yeah, if you go to our website, you'll be able to see a directory of all our films.
We certainly will do so. Once again, Tim, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Make sure you keep us up to date, keep in touch, and we look forward to having you again soon. You've been absolutely terrific, and we definitely wish you all the best. You've got a great future ahead of you.
Thanks, Mike.
Picture this photo books, where remembering is the key ingredient. Preserving memories, keeping the memories of your loved ones alive as they reach in and touch your heart. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whether it's a gift of past holidays, grandma's recipes, long ago moments, or just because. Those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809. Once again, that's 646-798-0809. Or visit picturethisphotobooks.com.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzeah.com. Missing. Available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.